Now make that show, Star Trek producers revealed their bold hopes to continue Strange New Worlds after Season 5. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds premiered in 2022, few could have predicted the way it would revitalize the franchise. By returning to a more episodic format, leaning into big-hearted optimism, and centering on Captain Christopher Pike's Enterprise crew before the days of Kirk and Spock's legendary voyages, the series managed to please old-school Trekkies while also attracting a new generation of viewers. Over the past 4 seasons, it has become one of Paramount Plus' most acclaimed originals. But when the studio confirmed that Strange New Worlds will conclude with Season 5, fans felt the sting of a warp core breach. And yet, if you ask the show's producers, this ending might just be the beginning. In a recent panel at New York Comic-Con, executive producers Henry Alonso Myers and Akiva Goldsman shared their hopes for what could follow the conclusion of Pike's 5-year mission. Their message to Paramount executives was clear: now make that show. It's both a rallying cry and a blueprint for how Strange New Worlds could continue in unexpected ways. Below, we'll explore the producers' bold plans, the possible spin-offs, and why wrapping up Season 5 isn't necessarily a curtain call. It's a chance to launch a new era of Starfleet storytelling, a show that rebuilt Star Trek's reputation. Before delving into the future, it's worth remembering why Strange New Worlds became a phenomenon in the first place. After the polarizing reception of Star Trek Discovery's early seasons, fans were hungry for a return to the colorful optimism of the original series. When Anson Mount debuted as Captain Pike on Discovery, the response was electric. Viewers loved his mixture of calm authority, wry humor, and compassion, a leader who felt more like a ship's dad than a distant military officer. Spinning Mount's Pike, Rebecca Rameen's #1, and Ethan Peck's young Spock into their own show was initially a gamble, but it paid off. Each episode felt like a love letter to classic Trek. Morality plays, alien civilizations, and ethical dilemmas wrapped in adventure. At the same time, the writers infused modern character depth and visual spectacle. By Season 2, the series had become a centerpiece of the franchise's streaming lineup, winning Saturn Awards and generating buzz well beyond Trekkie circles. This reputation gives the producers confidence to think beyond Season 5. As Myers put it during the panel, "We built Strange New Worlds as a celebration of what Star Trek can be, but we also built it as a springboard. Pike's Enterprise is the beginning, not the end." Why end at Season 5? Paramount's decision to conclude Strange New Worlds with its 5th season raised eyebrows. Some fans suspected declining budgets or behind-the-scenes conflict. In reality, the producers say the plan has been deliberate all along. Goldsman explained, "From the start, we envisioned 5 seasons telling the story of Captain Pike and his crew leading up to the events of the original series. It's a rich period, but it's also a finite one. We know where Spock goes. We know where the Enterprise goes. We wanted to give this chapter a proper arc." This approach mirrors the strategy of Star Trek Enterprise, which also had a prequel timeline, but with the benefit of hindsight, Strange New Worlds has paced itself more intentionally. By mapping out 5 seasons, the writers can seed plot lines and character developments that culminate naturally. Pike's struggle with his foreseen fate, Lon Noonien Singh's heritage, Uhura's growth into the legendary communications officer, all of it is building toward a known endpoint. In other words, Season 5 will be a finale with purpose, not an abrupt cancellation. But the producers don't see this as goodbye to the show's spirit. Now make that show, the producers pitch. During the Comic-Con panel, Myers and Goldsman recounted a conversation with Paramount executives after greenlighting the final season. "We said to them, we have something special here. We've proven this format works. So when Pike's story wraps, don't just close the door, now make that show," Myers said to loud applause from the audience. What exactly do they mean? According to the producers, they're envisioning a series of interconnected projects under the Strange New Worlds umbrella. Some ideas include a direct spin-off featuring the Enterprise B or Enterprise C era. This would preserve the episodic tone and optimistic style while exploring a fresh crew and timeline. A Starfleet Academy limited series starring younger characters introduced in Strange New Worlds. Fans already adore Cadet Uhura and the mentorship themes aboard Pike's ship. A show focusing on Starfleet's training grounds could build on that. Character-centered TV movies. Goldsman floated the idea of 90-minute specials on Paramount Plus that focus on single characters, like Una Chin Riley's backstory or Lon's journey after leaving Starfleet. Crossovers with other Trek shows. The hit Lower Decks crossover episode in Season 2 proved audiences love blending tones. Imagine live-action Mariner and Boimler popping up again, or a team-up with characters from Discovery's 32nd Century Future. In each case, the producer's goal is to keep the energy and aesthetics of Strange New Worlds alive while freeing themselves from Pike's pre-TOS constraints. The franchise is already primed for this. If the notion of interconnected spin-offs sounds ambitious, remember that Star Trek has been here before. In the 1990s, Paramount ran The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager concurrently, cross-pollinating characters and story arcs. Fans tuned in week after week for a living, breathing shared universe long before Marvel Studios made it fashionable. Today, the conditions might be even better. With streaming, Paramount can experiment with miniseries, event specials, and anthology projects without the pressure of 26-episode seasons. Star Trek: Picard successfully told a 3-season serialized story. Star Trek: Prodigy found an audience among families. And Section 31, long rumored and finally announced as a streaming movie, will test whether prestige Trek films work on the platform. Given this landscape, A Strange New Worlds continuation feels less like a gamble and more like an inevitability. As one Paramount executive reportedly told Variety, "This crew has the Midas touch. We are not letting them go easily." Fan campaigns are already gaining warp speed. Perhaps the most telling sign of the producer's leverage is the fans themselves. Within hours of the Season 5 announcement, hashtags like #SaveStrangeNewWorlds and #MakeThatShow trended on social media. Petition drives, fan art, and speculative trailers flooded Reddit and YouTube. This grassroots enthusiasm mirrors the campaigns that once saved the original series from cancellation in the 1960s and brought The Expanse back to life at Amazon. In the streaming age, metrics aren't just about view counts, they're about engagement, social buzz, and subscriber retention. If Paramount senses that fans are more likely to stay subscribed for a Pike spin-off or Starfleet Academy series, it has every incentive to greenlight something new quickly. Goldsman acknowledged this synergy. "We've always said Trek belongs to the fans. Their passion is why we get to do these shows at all. So if they want more after Season 5, we're listening, and so is the studio." What Season 5 might set up. The producers have been coy about spoilers, but they hint that Season 5 will lay track for whatever follows. Myers teased unexpected departures and surprising arrivals in the final episodes. Some insiders speculate that Number 1 may be promoted to her own command, setting up a spin-off. Others think we'll meet younger versions of future Enterprise crew members who could headline their own series. Another intriguing clue: the Season 4 finale introduced a mysterious Starfleet program codenamed Erebus, described as a deep space diplomatic initiative. Fans theorize it could be a narrative bridge to the oft-requested Starfleet Academy concept. Whether or not that guess is accurate, the producers clearly want their final season to function as a launchpad. As Myers put it, "We are not just wrapping up our story. We're planting seeds." Why this strategy feels so Star Trek. At its heart, Star Trek has always been about exploration, not only of space, but of storytelling. From animated experiments to big-screen reboots, the franchise constantly reinvents itself. In that sense, Strange New